This is CHS TV News.
Good morning, Cathedral. I'm Emma.
And I'm Tanya with your morning announcements for Tuesday, February 23rd.
Let's start off the show with a message from Mr. Daly.
Good morning, Cathedral. I wanted to start today with a special thank you to all the winter sports teams and coaches, most of whom have completed their seasons in the last week or so. So I really want to thank our midget boys basketball coaches, Mr. Cabardis and Mr. Susie. Mr. Cabardis has been the secret weapon in all the great successes of the boys basketball program for the last couple of decades here at Cathedral. So we thank you, Mr. Cabardis and Mr. Susie, for all the work you did with the boys. I know it was a disappointing ending to the season, but there's a very bright future for our grade 9 boys basketball players. As well, we already recognize, but we thank again our champion junior boys basketball team, coached by Mr. DeClaudio and Mr. Bizzuti, who had such a great season. And again, we thank our senior boys basketball coaches, who did an excellent job in a very, very tough league. We thank the boys for their good efforts this year. I know it was disappointing to lose the semifinal, but we do thank Coach Maga, Mr. Donaldson, and Mr. Romeo for all their work for our students. The girls' volleyball seasons, again, we want to thank those girls for representing our school the way they did, and the coaches. So we have a student coach for midget girls volleyball, Marco Ferreira, Sebastian Ferreira, Dominique Arturo, and the staff advisors, Ms. Rajic and Ms. Graziani. And again, we thank them for their time and efforts on behalf of our school. Our junior girls volleyball coach, Mr. Cortina from Wellness Place, and our beloved senior girls volleyball coach, Ms. McCabe, who does so much more than coach the girls volleyball team around here. I know the swim team had a very successful season, and 2 of our swimmers are moving on to GHAC, so we wish good luck to Emma Hornby, our news anchor today, and Jonathan Reed, who compete tomorrow. And we thank our 2 coaches, our teacher, Miss Lucier, who's done so much for our school over the years, and Miss Druven, who is an outside coach and a former parent of students here at Cathedral. As well, we want to thank our boys hockey team and our longtime coaches, Mr. Toole, Mr. Muley, Mr. Chafe, and Mr. Alves, who helped with the team. And I know our wrestling team is still going with, I believe, 4, perhaps 5 wrestlers going to OFSA. And we thank Mr. Ruyu for his work with our wrestlers, and Mr. Crosta. And students, I know you don't take for granted, as I don't, the volunteer efforts of our coaches in all the different clubs and activities. They do all these things purely in volunteer, taking time away from their families and friends, and we really do appreciate the great mentorship and coaching that those teachers do for us in the winter sports, as well as all the sports and clubs that we do have here around Cathedral. I do have a couple more announcements. Attention to grade 12s who are graduating. Wednesday, March the 2nd is the graduation mass. I know Mr. Lepore has been traveling around to classes looking for grade 12s to go to the graduation mass. I would strongly encourage you to participate in that event. It's a wonderful event. Includes food down at Leona Station, but for you grade 12 students who are graduating, we do want 50 to 100 of you to represent our school at the Basilica. Graduates from all across the city will be there from our school board. It's always a wonderful event. You will not regret going, and we would really appreciate a good turnout. So even if you've declined the invitation from Mr. Lepore, maybe you could reconsider. And again, we are looking for a good contingent of Cathedral students at that graduation mass. You will have a wonderful time, and it's great to be part of the Catholic graduates from right across the city. I had a phone call yesterday from a parent who wanted to tell me how much they appreciate the good work of our teachers and support staff here at Cathedral. She made a point to call me just to tell me how glad she was that her students go to Cathedral, and they had considered some public schools in the area, and it made me feel very good to get that message from her. So I wanted to pass that on to staff and students, as well as one of the supply teachers who I know is a Burbuff graduate was here yesterday, and I saw him at the end of the day, and he told me how much he enjoys coming to Cathedral due to the good behavior and respectful nature of our students. So congratulations, students, and I know you'll keep that up. And just lastly, I've been looking at the attendance numbers again. I will have statistics for you when I can compile them. I am a little bit concerned about the number of students who do not get here to school on time every day. Now, I realize at this moment, 8:39, we've got all our students in class who have chosen to get up early and attend, and maybe students, we can get some positive peer pressure from you. So it is the season of Lent, and it's time for good works. So I'm encouraging you to look around. If you've got a friend or a relative who is not in attendance right now, maybe you can do a little favor and do a little bit of God's work and encourage them in a positive way to get to school by dropping them a text. Tell them Mr. Daly wants them in school, because I know if they can get in front of your great teachers and support staff, their life will get better and their education will be successful. Thank you, everyone, for your attention this morning, and have a great Tuesday.
Thanks, sir. Attention all New York City travelers. Please see Mr. Walker regarding your rooming lists before the end of next week. And all students who have received a Focus on Youth Summer Employment application form should note that the form, a cover letter, and resume are due no later than 3 p.m. on Thursday to Mr. Nordoff and guidance.
Tomorrow we have our Black History Month celebration with a special broadcast here on CHS TV News. This is a reminder to Shaylee Witters, Joe Sella, Sharicia, Faith Woods, and Tyrell Clegg for a meeting after school today to go over the special presentation. Thank you from Mrs. Galliani.
This is a reminder to all grade 12 potential graduates. Application forms for the graduation committee and nomination forms for valedictorian are available in the guidance office. Please return them to Mrs. Brotherston by Wednesday. Also, don't forget that graduation profiles are due by April 1st.
Any potential girls rugby players are invited for a technical training session today and Thursday. More sessions will take place next Tuesday and Thursday as well. Session starts at 6 p.m. in the gym. Please dress appropriately and bring water. Questions can be directed to Mrs. DiBiase in room 301.
Speaking of rugby, there will be a brief but important meeting for anyone planning to play junior and senior boys rugby today, immediately following dismissal in room 305. Players unable to attend are asked to see Coach Davis sometime throughout the day. Additionally, please pick up a permission form from Mr. M. or P. Juba if you have not already done so.
Tomorrow, the GHAC swim meets takes place at McMaster University. Cathedral has 2 swimmers representing the school, Emma Hornby and Jonathan Reed, both in the backstroke. Good luck tomorrow, Gales. Both swimmers are asked to please go to guidance office after the announcements to get the swim meet information. Thanks from Coach Lucier.
And lastly, all junior boys basketball players are asked to please return all uniforms to Mr. DeClaudio during either period 3 or 5 today. Thank you for Mr. DeClaudio. Also, due to the passing of Mr. McPhee's sister, the Coffee House for Haiti will be postponed, but will take place before March break. Please see Ms. O'Keefe today if you have any questions. And those are all of your announcements for today, Cathedral.
Happy birthday goes out to Tiffany Mills from all your friends.
Have a great day, Gales, and thanks for watching.
What you gonna do? Lift up your head and keep moving, or let the paranoia haunt you.